So welcome everyone. My name is Kelly Stutz. I am one of the SOE Hub advisors. Here's our team here, but this presentation is a biomedical and biomedical pre-med engineering presentation. I typically advise these majors and hopefully I can answer most of your questions today. I know a lot of pre-med questions come up, but also we're here to advise the traditional biomedical program. Also here with me today is Jen Yeager.
Thanks, Kelly. Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer Yeager. I am one of the other School of Engineering Hub team advisors. So welcome. We're super excited to welcome you this fall. I'm going to kind of kick things off and talk about some nice general information for you before I turn things over to Kelly. And then at that time, I'll be hanging out in the chat box. So feel free to drop any questions that you have throughout the presentation today right into the chat. Don't get mad at us when we don't answer them right away. We're going to save those for the end of the presentation. So Kelly can give you all the info first. With that being said, we can move forward. So here's where we're at. These are the things we'll be talking about, touching base today. We're in the middle of our introduction. We'll go into major templates, not super specific, just kind of talking about the role that your templates play for these programs in biomedical engineering and then pre-med concentration. How you're going to register for your classes, which is coming up very soon. Transferring courses is something everybody wants to know about. And of course, the important dates that we have here in the SOE Hub. So who are we? What is the SOE Hub? We are experienced advisors. We are professional advisors, and you will have us for your first 2 semesters here as an engineering student at RPI. You will have faculty advisors. They come in your second year. And some of the majors like the ECSE majors, which is electrical and computer systems students, and the main students also have secondary advisors for those big, huge school programs that we have in the School of Engineering. The SOE Hub is staffed by experienced advisors, and we offer academic support for all the engineering majors for those first 2 semesters. Our Hub advisors assist students to determine their unique academic path through Rensselaer while fulfilling all their degree requirements. So that's basically what we do here, but we will be your first point of contact for all things academic advising. And then where are we? We are on the 3rd floor of what we call the JEC, the Johnson Engineering Center. We're in room 3306. And where you can see by the highlighting, you come in the main doors here at the JEC. You walk through, there's a little cute museum here about all things aeronautical engineering. And then you keep walking down a long hallway past the dean's office, and then you'll find the Ansel Lounge. It has a big sign. You walk through the lounge, you check it out, and you notice that there's lots of study space for you, which you'll be setting up shop and spending time in there during your time at RPI as an engineer. And here, the blue room is where you will meet with us. You can make appointments to meet with your academic advisors, and we also have drop-in hours as well. So you can meet with us virtually, or you can meet with us in person. We'll love to see you. And then here are all the majors. We know that you are interested in biomedical engineering. Some of you interested in pre-med, but we'd like to show this to everybody just so you know what's out there in the world of engineering here at RPI.
Great. Thank you, Jen.
Thanks, Kelly.
So I'm going to talk more specifically about the templates and how we utilize them in advising. Jen mentioned all of the majors. If you want to change your major at any point, or if you're still thinking between 2 majors, let me know or let your advisor know. We can make the program work for you. So the beauty of RPI is that you can pretty much easily switch into another major, especially 2nd semester. 3rd semester gets a little more specific, but in that first year, we're still exploring a lot of things. And this is where I can plug our 1 credit engineering, exploring engineering credit. It's called Better World Engineering, and it goes through all of our majors. Each week, it's a 1-hour seminar, and you get to learn about everything, and that's open for all students. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely check that out. It's Engineering 1700. So what I'm going to go through today is where to find the templates and the Excel templates as well, and then how to create your first semester schedule. So I'm going to pop out of here for a second, and then we're going to go into the SOE Hub website. So even if you search RPI SOE Hub, it should be the first thing that pops up. Scroll down and you'll see class of 2028. Let's get started. This is where you can find all the information. It's probably where you found this link today. Um, Most common questions are at the top here, but there's also more specific questions in our registration and our general FAQs as well. But specifically, I want to go over that PDF template. So that will be, how do I create my schedule for next semester? So you'll click the major templates and you can click the Excel template as well. And those will tell you specifically what to register for and what the requirements are for your major. So pre-med is very specific. So smaller. Um, those are specific questions that I can help you with, but you'll notice that there's a pretty big difference between pre-med and the rest of the majors. The biggest difference being is that you do not take a Haas course or humanities, arts, and social science course in your first year. So just keep that in mind. You will take one at some point. They're just mostly towards the end. The goal being to get as many of the pre-med requirements complete in that beginning of your career here so that you are set up for success when you go to apply to med schools. There are some differences here for certain students. So if you have AP credit and things like that, that's what we can go over in an advising meeting. The biggest thing is if you have AP Bio, they still require you to take biology here due to the fact that med schools want to see a grade that's just more preferable. For the psych credit, we can keep that for now. And if you want to take a higher level psych, you can. Again, this is case by case basis. So we'll speak in an advising meeting. We can get more specific. But for the general biomedical degree, you'll see that there's a Haas inquiry requirement, and we did a Haas webinar last week, so I recommend watching that. But this is where your Haas inquiry would be. You'll register for an INQR course, and you'll search for that in Quacks as well. So this is a typical first semester schedule. If you have AP chemistry credit, you can go ahead and take cell bio instead. So there's some flexibility here, but you can meet with me, but kind of follow the template here is ideal. And then as we go throughout the year, we'll get more specific with your questions and your four-year planning. With your four-year planning, you'll see that you have an Excel template. So this is where you can go in, download it, and create and adapt it to what you have taken and what you plan to take in the future. This will be more important when it comes to your spring advising meeting or your SAM meeting. But for now, I just want you to be aware of this resource. Okay, and then to build off of that, so we have our template. We know what courses we need to schedule. This is when we go into what we call quacks. Make sure it's fall 2024 on the top right. And then most of our classes are going to be math and science. So that's our focus for the first year, and that Haas Inquiry course. So if we click INQR, this is where you can review the descriptions for each of those courses. So let's say we want to do Nature and Society. Don't be scared that there are 0 seats right now. They will be adding seats. They are just reserving it for you, the freshmen, because these are reserved for first year students. So let's say, we'll go ahead and we'll click Nature and Society. And then we'll go back to the home screen. We'll click Chemistry and so forth. You're welcome to take Advanced Lab. You don't have to. Those are 2 additional labs. It's not a requirement. Chemistry 1 is okay for this biomedical degree. And then we'll go to math and we'll select Calc 1. If you brought in math credit, you can move on to Calc 2. Some students are always in between if they want to. It's totally your preference. If you felt like that AP exam or the a higher level exam you felt confident in, then we can move on to the next level math. But let's just say for this example, we're using Calc 1. And then we're choosing IEA is what we call Intro to Engineering Analysis. This is physics-based engineering or an engineering course. So this kind of gets you really into the engineering coursework. So this is an example schedule. There is one course that we're missing, which is CAD. So you have an option to take engineering communications, or graphics and CAD. It's totally your preference. Let's just say for this example, we pick 1200 and we'll select that. So this is 17 credits. This is a typical course load for a student. Always be mindful of the CRNs or the course registration number at the bottom, and these are what you're going to use to register later on. I know I went through that kind of fast, so if there's some questions, definitely write them in the chat. But basically, if you're looking at the templates, you'll kind of have an idea of what you want to take. You can take CAD in the spring if that's better, and then you can take processes instead in the fall, which is a 1 credit course. That's a hands-on 3-hour class, so students tend to like that class because you get to build things and use our workshop downstairs. Okay. Let me go back to the presentation. This is generally what we kind of went through, so I'm just going to get more specific with what you do after you've made your quack schedule. So we use Quacks, we set up a schedule. Now you're in SAS. You want to check registration status. You should have a time ticket already. So go ahead, log into SAS, check registration status or register add drop. Both of those screens will show you the time that you are able to register. Then make an alarm, make multiple schedules so that you're ready to go when that time ticket is available. Something else that that you should probably do now so that you don't have any issues when you go to register is to sign the financial responsibility agreement. You just click a button at the bottom and then you're good to go. So then we go into class search. You search by fall 2024. Again, we've probably made a quack schedule, so that's helpful. But if you're running into any issues, you want to make sure that the course is not major restricted to a certain major and that there are seats in the course. So this is where you can search by subject, and then you can select based on the course that you want. There's a few different ways to register. This is typically students will use the CRN and then paste that into the register add drop screen. So SR means seats remaining. If you see a C there, that means it's closed and that there's no more seats available. So definitely keep an eye on that and keep an eye on the capacity and the remaining courses as well. All right. Like I said, there could be some courses that are major restricted or grade or freshman status restricted as well. So Science, Tech, and Society is an inquiry 1100. That is an inquiry. It can count as that requirement for you. And you'll see that it is a, a restriction for freshmen. So that is one example. You'll also see a major restriction, more popular, most likely. So if it is major restricted, there should be another section for you to register. So definitely take a look at that. If that one's full, then we kind of have to find another course and go from there. Okay. A lot of hyperlinks here, so that's where you kind of find that information. All right, so like I said, we have those CRN numbers, and then when you go to that register add drop page, these squares at the bottom, that's where you're going to post or paste those course registration numbers. If everything goes well, you can submit them all at once and then press submit changes. There are courses that are co-requisites, meaning you must register for them together at the same time. For example, biology is one of those. So if you put the biology 1010 CRN number here, that means you have to put the biology 1015 number in the second slot. Then you submit because they have to be taken together. So that's also listed on our website under our registration FAQ. So if you want to follow back on that, that's where you can find some other information. Say you register and you have an error. What do you do? So first you have to see what the error is. Is it a course conflict or time conflict error? Is it a major restriction error? That is important. So if you run into any issues and you don't know what to do and you need our help, let us know what type of error it is, and that way we can best assist you. Okay, then once everything goes in, you can view your schedule in the daytime grid, or you view your weekly schedule, and you're all good. Just make sure it's 17 to 18 credits or 15 to 17 credits kind of ideal, so that we are on track for your curriculum. So next is transfer credit. We also did a webinar on this last week for specific questions, but basically, if you earned a 4 or 5 in any course, just submit the scores. We will tell you where they fit into your program. Some of them are more specific than others. Pre-med, you have a few more questions. Most of the time, my answer is because you're pre-med, you have to do something. So definitely reach out to me and we can get that clarified for you if something you're not sure where it fits in your program. Like I said, if you bring in biology credit, our program requires you to still take the class here. So it's good that you took biology and it still bring and submit the scores. It can only help you, but in terms of med school application and the BMed department here, they do require you to take the course here. Okay. Same thing with IB credit, request the scores, send to RPI, and the A-level exams. Request the scores and send them to RPI as well. Again, you can follow up with a video we did last week with specific questions. And basically, if you earn AP credit, you can move on to the next one depending on how you feel. But if you have any hesitation or questions, just let us know and we can talk through that. Right. Dual enrollment, similar, but there's an extra step here. You have to complete a form and have it signed by your high school before it's submitted to RPI. We can get more in detail with that in that webinar last week as well. Depending on the course, it depends on where they fit into your program. So when in doubt, just send it in. And then as long as it's in your system and on your transcript, then we have flexibility to figure out where it fits in your program, whether it's a free elective or it can count towards one of your HOS requirements. We can break that down. Every credit comes in as something very specific. So it's really a case by case basis. Again, if you're pre-med, ideally probably take psychology here, sociology here, so you have a grade. Psych, it seems like med schools are pretty lenient about, so if you want to use that AP credit, you can. Bio is just the specific outlier that in your degree requirements, they have you retake. So at least you feel strong enough and confident in that subject matter, and then you can kind of feel good taking that in the fall. Same thing with psych too. If you want to do a specific pathway with psychology, you can. Some of the most popular ones are probably public health, or if you're pre-med, you will be signing up for the pre-health pathway, which is kind of everything combined into one. So it's a lot of requirements, but they kind of make it the most so that you graduate on time and still fulfill all the requirements. Transfer credit, if so, it's a typical transfer credit. Say you're taking one right now over the summer, you have to get that approved by the certain department, have them sign it to be able to submit those transcripts later and apply to your transcript. Again, go on our website. There's specific questions answered in all of those. Something I want to note about the dual enrollment is that in order for the course to transfer in, it cannot count towards your overall high school credit. So it had to been something additional on top of what your high school required to graduate. Okay. Jen, let me know if I miss anything. All right. So when should you submit your transfer credit? As soon as possible. The deadline is technically by the end of your first year, but ideally we want those in now so that we have that flexibility, or at least we know what your options are in your advisement and what your 4-year plan looks like. It definitely helps immediate future in terms of your fall scheduling. So definitely get those in as soon as you can. Whenever those AP scores are available to you, just submit them as soon as you can once you get those scores, and then we can go through your options on what to register for the fall. Cool. And more information is also on the registrar's website. So coming up very soon is your registration window. So like I said, your time ticket should be posted in SIS, and then July 10th is when you register. So if you have something other than July 10th, you might have a special circumstance. If it's before then, or if it's anything after, definitely let us know. Everyone should be registering on July 10th, and then you have until the 16th to make any changes for now. You can always make changes later. for now, just get into what you can, and then we can work through any specific changes that you need. If you're an athlete, if you're ROTC, things like that, that's where we can really help figure out what your options are, um, and make any changes that we need to. First day of class is August 28th, and then the add and the drop deadline. So the last day to add a class and the last day to drop a class is September 13th. So definitely bookmark that somewhere. But we have until September 13th to make any changes to your schedule. So if you start in Calc 1, you're like, I think I know this, and you have AP credit and you want rather take Calc 2, that's where we can make those changes if you feel that you can start in Calc 2 instead. Okay, cool. So this was a very quick general overview. Um, Feel free to ask questions in the chat and review our website as well. Follow us on Instagram. We post a lot throughout the year, that just like deadlines and things, but also any other events that are happening with first year experience or other offices on campus. But our website is definitely our best tool here. I can help you with specific questions. But with that, we can kind of go over any that were submitted in the chat. If not, we'll just hang around for a few minutes, and see if anything pops up.
Yeah, no questions thus far. But yeah, I could definitely add on to what you're saying about all the resources because we've been talking about the fact that we're happy to meet with students. But definitely your first stop can always be our website. It's really comprehensive. A lot of times you can either get your answer right there, or it's good to like just have a little background knowledge before you come and meet with us, and drop in hours that we're having during Wednesdays and beyond. So yeah, check out those hours and come meet with us for any questions that you might have. But there's
Great.
still no questions.
Great plug, Jen. I wanted to note that this sign up link is only live during the times listed on our website. So we get a lot of emails saying the link isn't live. Well, it's because we're not open for advising. So just keep an eye on the times, set a reminder. There could be a wait, so just keep be patient with us. Something else I hope that everyone has done so far is set up your WebEx account with your RPI credentials. So from here on out, it is RPI email. We're no longer use your personal email, just because it's a liability issue, and make sure that we're getting it to the right information to the right person. So definitely use your RPI email and review our website here. It kind of goes through those steps as well. So specific things in terms of template, I think this is the most important, is where you're going to find a lot of information. Going to pull the pre-med one back up as well, just so people can see it. But this is the goal here. You can review the differences between BMed and BMed pre-med. There's like intro to bio instead of an inquiry course, and then there's Chem 2 instead of a Haas course. So there's some pretty big differences in that first year. If you're not sure if you want to go pre-med or declare the pre-med concentration, that's okay. You can start with an inquiry course instead in the fall, and then we can make adjustments in the spring. But really, for the fall classes, is getting into what you can, based off of how you feel, in terms of your AP credit and things. If you need an override, just let us know. But this is more of a general overview of everything biomedical. Specific questions, you can definitely email us. Our email is also located on our website at the top here. And then we can get back to you as soon as we can, okay?
And help us help you kind of thing. When you guys send us an email, if you could put your RPI RIN, and also what your major is. That helps us a lot with emailing back and forth and trying to figure out what kind of question and what kind of template you're working off of.
All right. Well, I think we're going to wrap up. Everyone has our email. We can answer specific questions. Gonna go in here. Thank you everyone for taking the time to join us today. This will be posted on our YouTube as well for reference. And any questions, just email us. We're here to help, and we're really looking forward to working with you in the fall. And have a great summer. We'll talk soon, okay?